Welcome back to the Reseller Journey Podcast. And in this episode, we are going to be discovering alternative ways to source inventory. Some alternative ways that aren't usually talked about on YouTube or just online in general. So, we're going to be discovering those different ways to source to help level up your business. And if you're new to the channel and it's the first time that we're meeting, my name is Bo Johnson. I am a full-time reseller for the past 2.5 years, reselling pre-owned men's and women's clothing on eBay. So my mission here is to help you go further faster along your reseller journey to be able to help you implement some of the tips and strategies that I'm using in my business. So let's get right into it. I have a few different key bonus tips added to this that are definitely some ways that you probably have not heard of. So let's get into it and see what we could be adding to our sourcing methods. Not all of these sourcing methods are going to be available for everyone, but maybe if you could pull some of these different ways to source, maybe it can be a good opportunity for you to kind of test the grounds and see how it would be able to help you out in your business. So basically, we're going to be looking at three different main ways that we could start adding into our sourcing, so we could be able to develop maybe some better product that we bring into our store, or maybe help lower our cost of goods. If you're wanting to improve your eBay business and sourcing skills, this is going to be the slideshow that you're going to want to maybe take some notes on, because I think it's going to be really helpful for you to start learning different ways to source as this market keeps growing. So, number one, it should be pretty obvious to you, but if you are a beginner, maybe it's not so obvious, and that is the Goodwill Outlet Store, also known as the Goodwill Bins. So the difference between the Goodwill Bins and the Goodwill Retail Store is the Goodwill Retail Store typically has their items on shelves and racks, all nicely laid out, right? But the Goodwill Bins is a pay by the pound, where a lot of the excess overstock and things that don't sell in the retail store get moved to the Goodwill Outlet, which is known as the Goodwill Bins. So being able to pay by the pound, usually between $1 to $2 per pound at these Goodwill outlet stores, can significantly reduce your cost of goods. And if you're a new reseller and you're just starting out, this is going to be the best option for you. You could just do the Goodwill Bins and make 6 figures reselling. There are many other people in the reselling life that do the Goodwill Bins, and that's all they do, and they do great. So it's up to you. There's not Goodwill outlets available to everyone, so you're going to have to do your due diligence and seek out ones that are going to be nearby in your area. So Goodwill Bins are a great place to source inventory for your eBay business. You can get great items at incredibly low prices, but it can be a competitive and tiring experience. So if you're new and you're just starting out, you're going to want to use the Goodwill Bins as your primary source, but it is not for everyone. There is definitely a culture, a vibe, and there's definitely a different feel when you go to the Goodwill Bins. They're not all equal, but some people say they try it once and never want to go back, and then some people love it. So that's going to have to align with your values and how you want to find inventory. But this is what I first started out when I first started reselling clothing, was I was going to the Goodwill Bins. And at the time, the closest one to me was 2 hours. So I would make sure that I would be able to make that trip worth it by getting 300, 500, 600 items at a time. So or just a great way to be able to build your business, whether it's through electronics, video games, books, clothing. That's going to be a great way to start developing a good plan to put in place to get inventory for cheap. So getting back into it, we want to look at Facebook ads. Why is this important? Because when I first started reselling, I was dismissing using Facebook Marketplace, Facebook in general. But then it kind of opened my eyes. Like, the Goodwill Bins was great, but I wanted to find alternative ways to source inventory that had less competition. So the Facebook ads was solely just to be able to kind of see what other people had available either in their homes or in storage units. So by posting a Facebook ad, that was the key difference for me in my business, and I'll touch on that later on in the video as to why. But posting Facebook ads is a great way to get free inventory. Join multiple buy and sell Facebook groups and post an ad saying that you buy what you're looking for. So for me, I put "We Buy Clothes" and I attached a simple powerful brand list with that ad. So make a brand list with a nice ad on Canva, post it in 20 or 30 buy and sell groups in your area, and filter through the responses. I suggest setting a 100-piece minimum or more on your ad and asking questions before making a connection. So you want to make your time worth it. You want to make sure that if someone is contacting you through Facebook, you want to be sure that it is worth it. I had people contacting me, oh, I got 4 socks, I got 3 hats, and a pair of pants. Well, for me, I'm not going to be driving 30 minutes to an hour out of my way to pick up 7 or 8 items. You want to make sure that it's going to be worth your time, and you don't need to essentially pay for any ads. When you hear the word ad, you think, oh, I'm not going to be paying for that. You can join buy and sell groups for free right now with over 10, 20, 30,000 people that are constantly buying and selling in these threads, in these forums, and just simply come off as what you're looking for. You want to be 100% transparent and authentic. Not all ads are going to be approved in these buy and sell groups, so that's going to be something you're going to need to be aware about. But even if you could just connect with 1 to 2 to 3 buy and sell groups, that's going to be a great way for you to be able to find inventory. And it doesn't have to be just clothing. It could be toys, video games, hats, super niche stuff as well. And that was really the big difference in my business, buying storage units through this method. So that can be a great way that you could start applying right now, and that could be really helpful for you. So getting back into it, we're going to be looking at calling storage unit warehouses. So storage unit warehouses hold inventory for years. Most of the time, these items get thrown away because the storage unit managers do not resell. So there's a massive opportunity to get valuable items for free. Start calling these warehouses and ask if they have books, clothing, toys, whatever you call it. They're going to have it, right? Give them your business card and put them out so you can get some business in the future. There are over 50,000 storage unit warehouses in America right now. So if I were you and you're looking for alternative ways to get inventory, pick up the thing that we hold for 8 hours on average per day, according to U.S. statistics, and start calling. Start calling people. Start calling storage unit warehouses and saying, hey, I am Bo with We Buy Clothes. I'm looking to buy excess inventory. What do you got? So really don't be shy about being vocal about what you do, and don't be afraid of your phone. Call. So what do you have to lose, right? And you want to be able to do things that most people aren't doing. Why? Because you want to have a competitive advantage. When everyone's doing one thing and you want to squeeze in and do that same thing, there's just going to be more competition. So you want to be able to figure out ways that are more unconventional so you have less resistance. So storage unit warehouses, storage unit auctions. There's multiple websites online that you could find that do local auctions in your area. Then you bid online. And just want to bring it up to you is I bought a storage unit yesterday. I'm always looking for alternative ways to source. I'm happy with what I'm doing right now, buying from Parker, buying the bulk bales, having them sorted out, also going to the Goodwill bins once a month. That's fun for me. And I'm also looking for other ways to source. So I just got a storage unit yesterday. I bid on it. It was 6 boxes of U-Haul, boxes, extra large U-Haul boxes full of clothes. So I'm going to see and experiment with that in my business and just see what do I have to lose. I think that it's important that you try it before you just put it, count it out, right? You got to try it. So right now I'm looking to get back into storage units after buying several last year, but it was a change in my business that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't look into buying storage units or posting the Facebook ad. So getting back into it, I just want to say hey to y'all. Sal, what's going on? You guys got to go right now, subscribe to Sal YouTube channel. He's shown the behind the scenes of what it really takes to become a reseller, how he goes about his processes. He will be showing up on your feed here in the next couple months because his channel is blowing up. And I'm all about learning different processes about what other people are doing. And Sal shows a lot of the behind the scenes that you normally don't see on Reselling YouTube. So go and subscribe to his channel. The Coco Room, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness, the fastest growing YouTuber on YouTube right here. J-Ride, what's going on, buddy? Just dropping by. Thanks for all the info you provide, Bo. Hey, I appreciate you. Beautiful thing, when you put value out, people are attracted to that. So it's like, I love what you're doing. I love seeing, kind of the behind the scenes, the raw, the uncut footage of what it really takes. It may not get all the clicks, but as for a reseller, people want to know kind of your processes and how you do anything. So another channel to go subscribe to is J Ride Flips. You got to do that right now. He's putting out a lot of good content. So, but good to see you, buddy. Just letting you know, the first link in your description is broken and leads to a 404 error page. Okay, thank you for letting me know. We'll get to that after the stream, but yeah, we'll thank you for letting me though. But yeah, if you guys have questions, just leave it in the comments and I will get to it. So, other ways to source, we're going to be looking at rag houses. So if you're an electronics reseller or you're selling trading cards or whatnot, this might not apply to you, but if you're doing clothing or wanting to get into clothing, you're going to want to figure out how I can go about sourcing at rag houses or making connections with people who source from rag houses. So rag houses are warehouses that buy textiles, clothing, and towels and cut them up into rags for mechanics and cleaning products. They are the last line of defense for clothing before they get taken into landfills. Find a rag house by looking in ports online. Once you find one, speak with the owner or an employee, and you can pay them for specific items you're looking for. So rag houses have been around since the dawn of time. They are nothing really new. So you're just seeing more popularity in it, and you're seeing more of these vintage bales come straight from warehouses. You're seeing rag houses just specifically now sort for resellers, and they're selling bales of specific, here's a Carhartt bale, here's a North Face bale. So you're going to want to figure out, where can I source from a rag house so I could take advantage of curating items that I'm looking to put in my store. And the difference being is you're going to be paying pennies on the dollar. So they're not so easy to find. You can't just call up and go, hey, 1-800-RAG House, can I order this 100 pounds of Carhartt button-ups? It's not that easy. It's a little bit harder and challenging to find, but I would suggest to you, hey, take a drive around your local port. Take a drive around your local where a lot of the boats come into the port, a lot of warehouse industrial sites, commercial areas, and just start looking around to see, hey, is there a lot of 18-wheelers coming into this area? Do you see a lot of pallets of clothing being dropped off? Start doing some research. It will take a little bit of time because they don't just advertise clearly, but you will, once you do find one, it can be life-changing for you. It can be somewhere where you could source from for the rest of your life and paying pennies on the dollar with literally zero competition. So you're going to want to do your own due diligence and figure out if that's going to work for you. Crystal says, hey, I listened to J-Ride too. Laugh out loud, keep name dropping. Always growing knowledge. Yeah, lifelong leaders are lifelong learners, and I think if you ever get to the point in your life where you're like, I know it all, I'm done learning, you kind of got to reevaluate your values, your standards, your ethics, because there shouldn't be ever any point in your life where you think, I'm done learning, I'm good. You should always be learning, because as the world is in a constant state of change, you too should be initiating change in learning, reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube videos. Learning is the key. So keep learning. Not everything that you learn is going to apply to you, and that's fine, but it's just important that you do learn so you can gain new information that may change your business or your life. So getting back into it, we are going to bonus tip number 2. All right, so paying sourcers. What does that mean? What is that, Bo? I don't know what you're talking about. Once you start generating a good income, you can focus more on paying for sourcers. These are people who make a living sourcing inventory for you. You can give them a brand list and say, I'm looking for these items, and they will know where to find them. You can broker a deal with them and pay them per item. This is extremely valuable once you have consistent product coming in. So if you look at all major retailers, big box stores, bigger companies, right? Small businesses even, do they go out physically looking for each product? Do they go out, hey, I'm going to go out sourcing for my multi-million-dollar business? No, they don't. They have everything come to them. They have a loading dock. They have a hand truck. They have a pallet jack. They have everything that comes to them on pallets ready to go. So once you can take that next step in your business, I would say this is like level 2 or 3 in your business. Once you start sourcing, for years at the bins, picking up thousands of items, learning on what to find, that next step would be hiring sourcers, looking to buy wholesale, and looking to have that delivered to you ideally, right? You would love to have that delivered. Why is this important? Because we want to focus on listing items, because they aren't making money if they aren't being listed. So it's really important that you bring those items, that you can get those items to you so you can start listing more items, sorting more items, and processing faster. I believe sourcing does take up a bulk amount of our time as resellers. And if you can either train up a sourcer or look for a connection where you can bring in product, even if it's raising your cost of goods slightly, the time that you're going to get back is going to be key, because you'll be able to now put that time in other places in your business to grow. So I don't think that starting off hiring sourcers to begin with is a good idea, because it's just going to be more capital intensive. But thinking down the road, hey, how can I get these people that I see at the Goodwill bins every day to bring items to me for maybe just a little bit more? So think about it. Maybe you have a cousin, maybe you have an uncle that ain't doing nothing. Say, hey, Uncle Jeff, what you doing? Eating hot dogs on the couch. You want to make some money? Give him a brand list. There you go. Start paying them per hour. Start paying them per item. Figure it out, because this is the next level that you would ideally like to get to, is people sorting items for you and bringing them to you so you can keep on listing more items. So, Crystal says, my pastor always says, remain teachable. Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's, I love learning. I'm addicted to learning and then applying what I'm learning. Like I said, not everything you learn is going to apply to you, but it's just important that you seek knowledge and learn. So, yeah, very good. Stepmo says, thanks again, Bo, for helping us. Oh, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, everybody that continues to leave positive, insightful comments. I read them all. It may take me a day or two to reply, but I really appreciate the support, everybody. So getting back into it. So paying sources is going to be a great one for you. All right. So we got bonus tip number 3. What is that? Score cheap inventory by sourcing from junk removal services. So one of the best ways to find cheap inventory is junk removal services. These services often have items that are in good condition but are no longer wanted by the previous owner. By establishing a relationship with junk removal services, you can get a steady stream of low-cost inventory to sell on eBay. Plus, you'll be helping divert that waste from landfills back into the economy. So this one here is interesting, because junk removal services usually take the items to a processing center, and usually these businesses hate clothing. So if you're a clothing reseller, what I would do is I would start reaching out to junk removal services that are local in your area. Also see if those businesses have a Facebook page, so you can like them and send them a message and just reach out. Say, hey, my name is Bo with We Buy Clothes. I'm looking to see if you have any overstock of clothing that I might be able to buy in bulk. And if you are not a clothing reseller, I would still try it, because some of these junk removal services are just processing the items and just wholesaling them out to other resellers. So you might want to check that out. I think it's going to be really helpful for you. And if you haven't noticed, when you're driving around your local town and you're looking at these telephone poles, you're probably seeing "We Buy Junk" bandit signs. You're going to want to get in contact with those local companies, and I think that can be really helpful for you to be able to find maybe an alternative way to source. Maybe it's only a couple hundred pieces a month, but it could be more value than what you would find maybe at the Goodwill bins. So give it a shot and see how you like it. Jay Haas says, hey, Bo, do you have any good sources for someone who has their wholesale license? Yeah, you could try B-Stock. Depends on what you're looking to sell, but there's many online websites that require a wholesale license. You're going to want to just check online, liquidation sites. B-Stock's a good one, but it just depends on what you're looking to sell or what you're looking to sell on eBay. So I would just get in touch, do a quick Google search on the Google machine, and figure out what are some of the best ways to find inventory online that would come to you that require a wholesale license. The good thing for you is not everyone has a wholesale license, so you already have a bit of a competitive advantage, when you're looking to buy in bulk. So that's what I would do. Stepmo says, that's why I always watching your YouTube. Appreciate you. Crystal says, my cousin owns his electric company. He tells all his customers I do reselling, and that has turned out to free donations. And what I don't use, I donate to the church. That is beautiful. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Whatever I don't want to list and that's extra, I donate to my local church, and they find homes for that. So you're going to want to, as a reseller, try to avoid donating those items that you could consider junk. Maybe not back to Goodwill or St. Vincent's, maybe try a local church, and they might be a little bit better set up to find homes for those extra items. Because as we know, there is a chain of command. Once you donate the junk to Goodwill, if it doesn't sell at Goodwill, it goes to the Goodwill outlet. If it goes to past that process, it's where is it ending up, right? So just be conscious and aware of some of the things that, I have the conviction of I don't want to throw this away, and I also don't want to give it to Goodwill. Let's give it to some churches, and they'll gladly take it. So, but yeah, I agree. Reach out. Family is a good way to get alternative ways of inventory. Don't be shy of what you are. If you're a reseller, yell it from the rooftops. So, case in point, I want to really reiterate and hammer down of what is really going to be happening in this market here in the next few years. ThreadUp did a little study this year on what the projection of this secondhand market is going to be doing. By 2027, they have projected that it is supposed to double in market cap. So if we're able to really master the things that we're selling, we can really get ahead of those people that are not willing to learn, that are just wanting to do the basics and take the easy way out. So bringing that up is I created a guide for clothing resellers that has every single item specific on eBay, detailed by definition and with a photo, so you can really get ahead of the competition by learning some of these keywords and item specifics about the clothing that you're selling. Why I did this is because I was tired of looking up item by item, going to Google, what is this? What is that? Why hasn't someone created a book with all this information consolidated down so I can just learn easy and quick? If you read this book, it's 160 pages. If you read it from front to back, you will be an expert in selling clothing. You will be ahead of 95% of other resellers. It's really important to learn about the items that you're selling so you can develop better keywords for your title, so you can properly put in the correct item specifics about the item that you're listing. It is key. And if this market is expected to double and you may not know a lot now, that's okay. You can start learning now to take advantage of what is to come. So you could check that out, linked in the description down below, or you can find it in the pinned comment around here. There is also a hard copy available on Amazon that you could check out, linked in the description as well. So that is something that is my passion, is just to really help you guys take what I've learned, the things that I've made mistakes on, and really help you guys learn so you can avoid some of those mistakes. It took me two years plus to really hammer down what a ringer tee was, what a domain sleeve was, what a sweetheart neck was, what a pop top is, what a tunic is, all of these different variations. And if you're looking to resell women's clothing, you're going to need to do some research because there's so many variations. Men's clothing, a lot easier, but when it comes to women's clothing, it is a whole different world and universe. So getting back into it, we're looking at bonus tip number 4. What is bonus tip number 4? It is something that is kind of happening more and more lately. My friend Sean Taylor with Taylor Exchange, if you guys aren't subbed to his channel, please go and do that. Take the time right now. Go and sub to Taylor Exchange. Go give him a follow. He has opened a buy and sell and trade store where he now buys people's inventory, kind of like a We Buy Clothes, right? But he has an actual physical location where people can come in with their closets and they can say, hey, I saw your brand list. I brought in all these clothes. Can you make me an offer? That can be a great way that is gaining more and more popularity now for you to get inventory. You don't need a massive brick and mortar warehouse. You can have just a little office where you can have people come in and show you their closet and you can buy what you want. So that can be a great way. And if you haven't seen some of the previous podcasts, my friend Parker Hayes with Ghost Town Outfitters did the same thing. He started out with the idea of starting a micro bin store, buying in bulk and selling by the pound, but that has slowly evolved into a buy sell trade store to now where he's more curating some nicer pieces to put on racks. People are coming in trading their vintage shirt for this another vintage shirt. So that's kind of where he's going with it. But I'm seeing more and more traction gain in this area of opening a buy sell trade store or a type of thrift store, and a great way to meet other people, because remember, these connections that you do meet with people in person, if you can just show some love, listen to them, laugh a little, those are lifelong friends and customers that are going to go tell their grandma, their aunt, their uncle, their friends, and that's going to help bring more business. So if you have the time to do that, then that can be another great option for you. So considering to open a buy and sell store where customers can bring in their clothing, accessories, and other items to sell or trade. By buying items from these customers, you can acquire inventory for cheap and build relationships with customers. Offer to buy clothing that's on your brand list to ensure you're only buying the item that fits your store aesthetics. Yes. So not everyone has the option to do this, but I have seen several other people do it and with great success. So getting back into it, Al says, anyone can do six figures. Sounds too good to be true. What are you not telling us that you do that makes it possible? Well, there's many videos on my channel that talk about the simple principles of how to become a six-figure reseller. A lot of it has to do with your sourcing methods. I would say the most part of it has to do with your management, because you can only grow to the amount that you're willing to manage properly, right? So everyone wants to make six figures, but yet they can't even manage the store that they have now. Whatever you mismanage, you will lose. It is a principle. So if you want to be a six-figure reseller, you need to make sure that you're managing what you have now. Maybe you just have 2 items in your store. Manage them. So it's important that you continue to manage your growth as you continue to grow on eBay. For me, it was not listing more than I was, it wasn't having an ambitious listing goal. I was always growing slow with the amount that I was selling. So if I was listing 15 a day, I wanted to make sure that I was selling 10 a day before I leveled up to going to 20 a day. When I was at 20 a day, I wanted to make sure that I was selling 10 to 15 items a day before I continued to grow the store. So it's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a flash of the pan and, oh my God, I'm a six-figure seller. It's going to take years of grind, determination, vision, purpose, meaning. And this is important because a lot of people give up so quick. You're so early to quit, and you're right around the corner. eBay, to be able to give you 6 figures worth of traffic, needs to trust you with what you got now. So if you want 6 figures and you have late shipment defects, you have a bunch of errors in your titles, you're picking up bad items, it's going to be hard for you to make 6 figures income. So a lot of it has to do with management. How are you managing every aspect of your business? So if you manage, then you're being able to grow and have more. So if you are faithful with the little, you will be given much, right? So just be faithful with what you have, continue to learn about brands that are selling, and continue to grow. But I would say the main thing is do not be listing too much more than what you're selling, because that's going to put you out of business real fast. It's very important to grow slow, especially if you're looking to sell on eBay. Al says, love the channel. Keep it up. Appreciate you, Al. I hope that explanation was a little more clear, but if you see on some of my past videos, I do talk a lot about management and why it's key in this type of business. Reselling in general is not a get rich quick. There is nobody that's gone from 0 to 100,000 within a month. eBay's going to really want to see how you're shipping your items so they can trust you with more impressions, more traffic, more sales. Timothy says speed of processing the items is the big key. Yeah, it is, because the faster that you process items, the more money you make. So if you're slow in your processes and you're picking up things and, oh, wow, this is great. And you're just looking at it and going, wow, and you're just spending too much time doing unnecessary things, your money per hour is going to be going down, right? So out here, when I'm in this shop, I'm cranking. I'm not looking around and, oh, this is nice. And, I'm just out here doing what I need to do so I could get out of here and be done with my eBay work, So we need to be as fast and as efficient as possible when we're processing. I do understand like looking for defects and all this stuff, but just get really good at your processes and you will see your income climb, and you will see, hey, I only spent 3 hours working on eBay today and I have a 6-figure business. That is going to be ideal, because what we teach here on the channel is we're not trying to get you to work on eBay for 12 hours a day. We're trying to get you to work on eBay as minimal as possible to be able to produce 6-7 figures. So it's just going to take time, and all of that takes practice. And as you practice, you will gain more experience. So getting back into it is bonus tip number 5. We got source inventory by placing drop boxes at local businesses. Place drop boxes at strategic locations around town where people can donate gently used clothing and accessories. Be sure to add a sign that clearly states the types of items you're looking for. This is a great way to acquire inventory for free and build relationships with the community and businesses. So this you see happening. You see it. I know you do. You see these drop boxes and you wonder, what's going on there? You see local drop boxes, at churches, at real estate offices. And most of the time they're just taking in clothing, but it doesn't have to be just regulated to that. So consider, if it applies to you, put a drop box out in your front yard. My friend Parker did the same. And he said, hey, he would love waking up every morning with his cup of coffee, checking out what junk people put in the box. So consider it, try it. It doesn't have to be your house. If you have a friend that runs a local business, say, hey, I'll pay you $200 a month. Can I put this drop box out front of your business to be able to, get some inventory? It depends on who it is and what they're asking for, but it can be a great alternative way. I live in a rural area, so rural areas would be really ideal. Population 500 to 1,000 people. Well, they need to drive 30 minutes to the local Goodwill to drop off stuff. So if I'm able to put drop boxes kind of in between those areas where people don't now have to, now that 30-minute drive is a 10-minute drive and they can drop off the stuff in the box. So you're just going to have to use strategic placement if you are going to do these drop boxes, or call the companies that are doing these drop boxes and say, hey, I want to buy this. I'm looking for this. You can also do that as well. You don't have to just do the drop boxes. You could call the businesses that are doing the drop boxes and asking what do they have in excess that you could buy. So, Joseph says, just starting out, adding 3 items a day at 35 items online now. All right. Should I add more per day or just stay at 3 a day? I would just stay at 3 a day. 3 a day. Slow and steady wins the race. 3 a day. Master 3 a day. You just have 35 items. So when you start selling 1, 2, 3 a day successfully for weeks, a month, that is going to be the indicator for you to be like, all right, eBay's ready for you to now take that next step. But don't be increasing your listing goal if you're not even selling 1 a day. So just stay at 3 a day, master the processes. It's going to be very boring to start, but once you start building up your store into 100, 200 items, and you should be selling about 1 or 2 items a day, hopefully, depending on what you're picking up, then you can say, hey, I'm ready to go from 3 to 6. I'm ready to go from 3 to 5. Many people have started out slow, but they saw their processes get faster. Everything got better. Their knowledge of their brands got better. And when they did increase their listings, they were more successful because they were able to have more brand knowledge. They were able to be faster in their listing process. So don't grow too fast. And I know 3 a day might be really boring and you're probably like, I can knock out 20 a day. Just make sure that you're really trying to grow slow. I know it's kind of counterculture to what YouTube and America, just we want things fast these days. And I will tell you this, that there's just a great opportunity on eBay right now and all of these platforms, Whatnot, Mercari, Poshmark. It really doesn't matter. Just reselling in general is going to grow. You need to pick the vehicle that's going to work for you and just master it completely. So getting back into it, bonus tip number 6 is going to be source inventory by cold calling mom and pop thrift stores. So going back to our phone that we hold in our hands on average 7 hours a day. That's crazy, right? So if we just spend maybe, 20 minutes of that day calling some local mom and pop thrift stores. Why are we going to do that? We're going to do that because we're going to ask if they have any excess inventory or overstock that they're looking to sell in bulk. This can be a great way to acquire a large amount of inventory at once for a discounted price. Be sure to build a relationship with the store owner for future opportunities. So there's another way to be able to connect with those smaller thrift stores that really can't handle the volume like Goodwill or St. Vincent's can. So if you're open to it and you aren't afraid of the phone, start calling these people, start making connections, start explaining who you are, where you're from, and what you're looking for, and it can be really helpful for you. So a lot of the times these mom and pop thrift stores, they don't have a Goodwill outlet or a Goodwill bins to throw their excess stuff. So they will take a lot of their rack pools, stale inventory, and overstock of donations, and they will sell that out wholesale to oftentimes rag houses. So they're looking to just move inventory, especially if they're, a one-man show. They're not going to have a lot of the resources to be able to, put everything on the shelf and put everything on the rack. So start calling around, start figuring out, hey, what do you have available? Start seeing, if you can make a connection with them. I know that can be really helpful because not a lot of people are doing that. So reach out, cold call some thrift stores, and I think that can be a game changer for you. So next tip, well, that's all the tips. So just wanted to really bring this to you because I am also looking to source in different ways. I really think that the quality of your sourcing life really determines the quality of your reselling life. So if you're not sourcing, if you're not so excited about when it comes to sourcing and you just want to do the bare minimum, you will oftentimes find that your reselling life is kind of like, my items are good, but they're not great. They're selling within a year, but they're not selling within 3 months. So if you add in an extra sourcing day, like going to the Goodwill bins one extra week, or heading out to that local mom and pop thrift store that you just do once a week, that's really going to help you be able to get more items covered in that same week. You're able to sort through that many more items. So do you think that you're going to find better value of items sorting through 1,000 items a week, or will you find better value items sorting through 2,000 items a week? So the more items that you sort through every week, the better opportunity that you have to find better items with higher average sale price and higher sell-through rates. So it's really about how many quantity of items you're sorting through every month to be able to really set yourself up in your reselling life. If you're only sorting through 100 items a month, then what do you think your reselling life is going to look like? So you're going to have to be able to look to maybe get some processing down, get good at it, and get fast at it. And if you're wanting a little bit of help, a little guidance, maybe you need a little accountability, you could check out link down below where Marcus Dixon and I, Dixon's Pickens, are doing a reseller mentorship. We have 33 people in there growing their stores, applying the same tips and strategies that helped us reach over $300,000 in sales last year. You get access to a reseller spreadsheet, as well as hundreds of hours of previous recorded coaching calls. And if you want a store review, that is included in the 7-day free trial. You can try it, see if you like it. If you do, it's just $1 a day after that, and we would love to see you there. I appreciate you all. If you're wanting to know what items that I'm selling in my eBay store specifically and what I pay for them and what they sell for, you're going to want to check out this video right here where it goes more in detail into some of those items. And I do that specifically so for when you go out sourcing, maybe you can find some of those items as well. I hope you all have a blessed weekend and take care.